When it comes right down to it, there are like three groups of people in how they respond to Christianity. There are some people who are seriously hostile to anything about Christianity. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but we're just going to say there's a lot of people like that. And there are a lot of people who are very, very friendly to Christianity. Now, most of those are already Christians, but they exist. But there's another group, those are kind of neutral. Those are the ones who are kind of watching us. And I really think we need to spend more time worrying about that group. Like if we go to Acts chapter 4, verse 21, there's all kinds of stuff going on in Jerusalem, and the Christians are doing some really good things. And it says, after further threats, that what they've done is they've arrested some of the leaders of the early church. And it says, after further threats, they let them go. They let them out of prison. And the reason was they could not decide how to punish them because all the people were praising God for what had happened. In other words, they were living their lives in such a way that people couldn't help but praise God. It was just so obvious that God was working in what was going on in their lives. It was so obvious that they were living up to God's standards and God's expectations, especially in the way they treated other people, that the officials had to let them go. And it's my belief that we need to spend a lot more time thinking about the people who aren't sure. Now, sometimes we can be driven by the people who are hostile. And the reality is it takes a lot of work, usually on a personal one-to-one basis, to deal with somebody who's hostile. But when you talk about the neutral people, the question to ask is, are Christians in America in general living in such a way that the people who are neutral, the people who could be drawn toward Christ, are drawn to Christ by the way we love and the way we live? If they can't be drawn, if you can't see how they would be drawn to Christ by the way you're living, you need to change how you're living. And if they're not drawn to Christ by the way the groups you belong to are living, you need to belong to different groups. And that's today's Jumpstart.